Hey, you feel that? You are now tuned into You Feel That with Bryce the Third. Feel fam, what up? And welcome to You Feel That, the show where we aim to turn your I can'ts into I got this by providing you with tools or ways of looking at life that empower you emotionally and mentally no matter what field you are in. I'm your host, Bryce the Third. And today we're going to talk about the importance of planting seeds in our lives. What does it mean to plant seeds, Bryce? What is a seed, Bryce? I don't have a green thumb, Bryce. Well, that's perfect. These are all perfect questions. You are perfect. And you are in the right freaking place to get the answers to these questions today. But before we get into our show, let's have a word from our sponsor, me. So before we get into it, this episode is brought to you by my Patreon, Bryce the Third. Look at this. Ooh, Bryce the Third. Ooh. I get it. You're mad emotional. There's not really a supportive place to be yourself, your emotional self. You want to learn how to harness these emotions and use them for good. You no longer want to be debilitated by these heavy emotions, but you want to be empowered by the ways that you feel deeply. You want to dig into more tools, more resources, and overall just take your life to the next level. Well, let me tell you, my friend, you are doing yourself a service by even listening to this podcast because you are exactly who I made this podcast for. And if you want to help take this podcast to the next level, because I'm always growing and I'd rather grow with friends, hop on over to my Patreon. There's 3 tiers that you could pledge a monthly subscription to. Tier 1 is to show us some monthly love and help us take this thing to the next level perpetually. With Tier 2, you get access to a weekly text group that, trust me, you want to be a part of. With weekly motivation, reminders to give yourself compassion at just the right time, and updates on the newest products before anybody else gets their hands on them. And in Tier 3, not only do you get access to the Tier 2 text group, but you get a special shout out at the end of every episode of You Feel That. So basically, you become a damn celebrity. However you decide to show up is greatly appreciated, and I'm aiming to give you 3 times the value of whatever it is that you put in. Because you know the universe helps those who helps themselves. You can find a link to the Patreon page in the show description of whatever you're listening to your podcast on. And if you're on YouTube, it's down there in the description. Now let's get to the show. All right, let's get straight to it. We're going to make it short and succinct. Planting seeds. Learning to plant seeds. What are seeds? Seeds in our lives are the things that we do that have the potential of creating an outcome. Things that we do that may bring us closer to the manifestation of our desired reality. How can I say that in a simpler term? Planting a seed is an action that we take that allows for us to become aligned with where it is that we want to go. Planting a seed is like gardening. When you want cabbage, you got to go and plant a cabbage seed. Just like if you want potatoes, you got to go and plant a spud or whatever the hell you do when you plant potatoes. But there has to be a planting of the seed in order for anything to ever grow. But the whole thing about the planting the seed process is there is no guarantee that what we plant is going to grow. And we don't necessarily know how long it's going to take for what we planted to grow into what it is that it grows into. And if we're not entirely sure about where it is that we want to go, then it can take some process to learn our planting process, learn what kind of seeds we even have in our pocket and what kind of seeds we're planting. So for me, planting seeds is pushing the needle forward a bit every day towards our desired reality, giving, feeding into others, taking action that in the day brings us closer to what it is that we want the world to be. And what I've learned about gardening in this way is that we can tend to plant the seed and then want what it is that we've seeded to be up and grown and able to eat immediately. So I've learned that it's important to prioritize the planting process. Learning how to prioritize the process of planting seeds wherever it is that we go versus what it is that what we planted grows into. Planting has to be priority over harvesting, because if we attach what this thing grows into or when it grows into what it grows into to our worth, then it just becomes a grueling process. So learning not to watch the seeds that we plant will tend to attach our worth to which seeds grow and which seeds don't. And what I've learned just in working with others, whether it be in a 12-step program or just others that I find inspire me and I want to feed into, and this is with the context of working with people, because there's so many different contexts, right? But in a context of working with people, say there's a guy or a woman that I'm invested in, and I'm putting some money into them, or I'm putting opportunities on their plate, or when things come to mind, I have resources that I'm able to share with them, and I give them those resources. Say if I planted a chair right in front of the seed that I planted. So I planted the seed and I planted the chair right in front of that seed. I'm no longer planting seeds. Now I'm sitting sitting and I'm watching the seed. And as I'm watching the seed, either it's going to crack and it's going to grow, or it's not going to crack and it's not going to grow. But if I'm sitting here watching the seed, I've attached my success and my worth to whether this seed grows or not. So getting away from the metaphor and into the actuality. So if we're talking about like a mentor or a mentee relationship, and this is a person that I've invested in, and I'm investing and I'm watching in a way that attaches my success to the success of the people that I've invested in. So now if you decide to use the resources I've given you or not, dictates whether it is I'm successful or not. So now my success is tied into your success, and that's not good for neither one of us. That's not good for either one of us, because now there's this pressure on you that you didn't even ask for. And there's this pressure on me for what it is that I've learned to teach to actually work. And this is a thing that can be applicable to teachers. You know, when we're talking about mentor-mentee relationship, like if you're a teacher, it can feel away if you feel what you're teaching is not having the effect that you desire for it to have. And this is, you know, this translates into parenting as well. But what I've learned is that we can't watch the seed. Like our priority has to be in planting the seeds, because even as a parent, like there's so much, I can do so much. I can set the stage so much, and my kids can still be a serial killer. I mean, I have no control over what it is that my kids decide to do with what it is that I teach, but I do have control over what it is that I teach and how I continue to show up for them. So learning not to sit and watch the seed, learning how to prioritize the planting process, because planting has to be prioritized over harvesting, because we have no control over what it is that grows out of the seeds that we plant. And not watching the seeds, not attaching our worth to which seeds grow and which seeds don't, because the mind is funny. The mind is a funny place, and it'll do this thing like, what did this thing happening, what does this say about me? And it'll also do this thing, what does this thing not happening say about me? The mind wants to take what is and use that as an indication of what I am. Learning to not have our worth be dependent on what it is that we see in this moment. The feedback that we're getting right now is essential to creating anything from scratch. So it's like if I plant a corn seed, but right now I don't see corn stalks because I just planted the seed, I can't attach what it is that I see right now to my well-being. I have to allow for that corn seed to turn into a corn stalk or gnaw, and still have in my mind and in my spirit that I'm okay, and I'm willing to prioritize throwing seeds around. Eventually something gonna sprout. Don't watch the seeds. It's not good for your health. And that's the beautiful thing about this adage, is maybe we'll plant some seeds and we'll get to the end of our lives and we'll look back and see that some trees have grown. Some big, sturdy, substantial trees. But even in the trees that grew from the seeds that we planted, we don't necessarily have 100% responsibility for that. All we did was planted the seeds. And that's something that I've come across in 12-step program. That's a lesson that I learned in 12-step program working with people around alcoholism and substance use, is that if people go back out and get high and drunk again, like, that's not on me. That's not my fault. But if people stay around and build a substantial recovery, that's not on me. That's not my fault. They just took the seeds that I planted and turned it into something substantial for them. So it's like learning to detach the responsibility, almost doing it in an altruistic way, where it's like, I don't even want nothing from the seeds that I'm planting. Learning to plant the seeds because these seeds align with what it is that I want the world to be. Like, I believe in people. I believe that people are great. I believe that there's a lot of love in life. I believe there's a lot to be grateful for. And if I believe that, then I have to also be a producer of these things. So if I believe that there's a lot to be grateful for, I have to actively produce things for others to be grateful for. If I believe that people are good people, I have to actively be producing good acts because I have to be a good person, because that's just part of my belief set. So I can't take personal what seeds do. I can't take personal what seeds grow and what seeds don't. If a seed grows to be a tall, crazy tree that sustains humanity for years, like, I take no responsibility in it. I'll take no responsibility in that. And if a tree doesn't necessarily grow from a seed, I can't take responsibility in that either. That's not on me. But what I can take responsibility for is running around like Johnny Appleseed, putting these seeds in the ground. Also, talking about at the end of life, maybe we'll look back and see that some trees have grown. This is not an adage that is encouraging you to hurry up and get to the end of life. Like, oh, I just need to plant the seeds and close my eyes, and then maybe at the end of life I'll look back and I'll see that some trees have grown. But right now I just gotta close my eyes and I just can't pay attention. I can't look. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if you look around at your life right now, you can see how some seeds that you have planted a while back grew. Like, it's crazy the way that humans are, at least this human, me personally, that what once was like super duper important that I manifest, like I have it now. And now there's another thing that's super duper important that I manifest, and I can feel like if I focus on what it is that I don't don't have and what it is that I haven't created yet. There'll always be something that I don't have and that I haven't created yet. But if I focus on the things to be grateful for and appreciative of, I've manifested a lot. A lot of seeds have grown into a lot of different things. Right now in my life, I'm just getting super intentional around the seeds that I'm planting and showing up continuously to plant seeds that align with my desired reality. And the more seeds I plant, some got to grow. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, if you look around at your life right now, you can see how some seeds that you planted a while back have grown. So there's so much in this moment to appreciate. And even if it's just that you're an avid seed planter, like that's something to be appreciative of. Oh, I've subscribed to this process of life of gardening and planting seeds and investing in what it is that I believe in and going out on a daily basis and pushing the needle just a little bit more so that I plant seeds. And it's almost exciting. Like it's exciting when I wake up today, like there's 2 handfuls of seeds that I know like, oh, something could sprout today. But I'm not sitting around waiting for something new to sprout today. Like, ooh, I hope something that I planted previously will sprout. Like, no, I'm focused on planting seeds. So now I'm planting more seeds. So then tomorrow when I wake up, it's like, ooh, something could sprout today for a second. And then I continue to plant more seeds and continue to plant more seeds. And I find gratitude and appreciation in the fact that I'm a seed planter. I'm a gardener. And my life is a garden full of my efforts continuously. And if we're talking about gratitude and appreciation, you know, I got to pull that out and magnify that. Gratitude and appreciation themselves are seeds. We plant these seeds and find more to be grateful and appreciative of. So when I plant the seed of gratitude and appreciation in this moment, what ends up growing is more things to be grateful and appreciative of. If I'm grateful and appreciative in this very moment of the things that I have right now, and it's not about what things grow into, and it's not about what things haven't or have happened. It's like in this moment, like I'm appreciative and grateful for what I have in this moment. Like that's planting a seed as well. That's planting a seed inside of me, allowing me to be that person who has gratitude and appreciation for life in a way that no matter what it is I'm presented with, I could find something that I'm happy about. I could find something that I'm grateful for. I could find something that I'm appreciative of. So no matter what happens in life in the future, no matter what grows or what doesn't grow, I can have gratitude and appreciation for it. Now, whether this plant grows or not, or this seed grows into anything or not, I'm grateful for the experience. Let me tell you how many times I planted a seed and it didn't do exactly what I thought it would do. Maybe I thought it was a pumpkin seed and then it grew into an oak tree, or maybe I thought it was an oak tree and it grew into a Brussels sprout. I don't know. It just turned, or maybe I thought it was going to be something and it wasn't that. Like, even in those instances, there's something to be grateful for because it has added to my process. Now I'm the person in life that knows, like, oh, when I plant this type of seed, this is what happens. And when I plant this type of seed with this type of energy, this is what it is that I get back. So now I've cultivated this understanding in a way that that has pivoted the ways that I move in life, that has pivoted the type of person that I am and the actions that I take and the type of flavors of seeds that I plant. Like everything is here to serve us. And when we become the person who prioritizes planting the seeds, we'll wake up today and there's no telling what type of stuff is growing that we can benefit from. Even if it's something that didn't grow, but what grew off of what didn't grow was the lesson. Gratitude and appreciation themselves are seeds. Continue to plant that. Continue to plant that. You know, and lastly, like, this is a practice. Don't beat yourself up. Like, have compassion for self. Such is a seed. That's a seed. The seed of compassion and understanding for self. Life will bring you different contexts to help you cultivate different strengths, like we just spoke about. Like, this time it's a mentee. This time it's like wanting a significant other. You know, this time is wanting to be away from someone you don't like at work. Like, this time it's you never know what opportunity you're being presented with. Like, everything is here to serve us. Here, you feel that? I'm working to switch your paradigm from I don't have it, I can't do it, to I can do it, and I have all the tools that I would ever need in this moment, and I will gain more as I go. Life is going to continue to bring you different contexts in which to cultivate different strengths from the seeds that you plant. But you got to get active. You got to get active. We got to give to get. We got to give to receive. We got to give effort to receive the lesson. We can't sit in a crib wondering, oh, I wonder what happens if I plant this seed. Well, I've read and I've researched that planting this type of seed when I feel this type of way is not going to do. That's like a quick way to go into a spiral of depression because you won't be able to get the feedback. You won't be able to get the feedback. As a rapper, as an artist, as a musician, like when I create songs, but then sit on them, I don't get the feedback from the community that lets me know, oh yeah, we rocking with this. Or if I don't do shows, like I don't get the feedback from the audience like, yeah, this moves us, or yeah, this doesn't move us, which doesn't allow for me to go back and make a better song. So now I'm just sitting on all these damn songs where like I don't know how it resonates with the community. Like we gotta let that shit go. We got to let that shit go. We got to get in the process of life. We got to perpetuate this energy. We got to put it into the world. We got to plant the seeds. We got to plant the seeds. So get up, Johnny Appleseed, and put your hat on and take your bag of seeds outside and get to planting for real. The world needs you. The world needs you to garden in your specific manner. The world needs your specific energy in the soil. When we submit to the process of life, we will become one of life's most seasoned gardeners, ready to use whatever shit we get as fertilizer. Take that. And that's all I got today. So while we on the topic of planting seeds, Apple, you Apple seeds? No, nobody? Okay. While we on the topic of planting seeds, head over to Apple Podcast, rating and review if you have an Apple device. Now, Apple's rating and review system, I don't know how well it helps podcasts be found. There's a lot of conflicting energy on the internet, but what I found is that when I go to listen to a podcast, since my first time getting there, the cover art is one of the things that strike me. Maybe I'll read the description, but most importantly is the rating and reviews. So yes, 5-star reviews help a lot, but if you can go in there and be like super specific about what it is about you feel that has served you and helped you improve your life, like that's going to help, I believe, us be able to find more people who can use these tools, use this energy, and improve their lives as well. So please, Apple ratings and reviews are pivotal to us being found. Go and subscribe to my YouTube so I can make some money. You know, I don't know if you just listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but I also do a video version of this that I put on YouTube. You can go on there, subscribe to my YouTube, and as a bonus, you'll get all the other stuff that I do too. I've got a documentary on there. I release all my music videos on my YouTube, and I'm just working on different types of content that'll end up on my YouTube page. So check it out. It's worth a subscribe. Planting seeds. And while we're talking about planting seeds, this is definitely a seed that has grown. My book, The Handbook, a pocket guide for creating your desired reality and being a good human while you're at it, is going to release in January. We're actually going to have an event on January 29th at the Looking Glass in Detroit, Michigan. If you here in the city, I want y'all there. I want to see y'all in person. I want to connect with you. We're going to do a live podcast recording if you feel that. We're going to have audience participation. We're going to have live music. We're going to do some book signings as well. It's going to go crazy. But for right now, for everybody who is in Michigan, but also may be all across the world, you can download a free advanced chapter of my book, the chapter on gratitude, right now, this very moment. When you go, you'll click on a link and it'll ask for your email, and then you'll get the PDF directly to your phone to be able to look through this chapter and just get a preview of what this book is bringing to your lives. And then I'll get your email, and then we get to keep in contact, and we're not restricted by these weird platforms like Instagram and YouTube that work off of algorithms. If you've been with the Phil fam, you know how organic our community is. If you're new to the Phil fam, just look at how you found us and understand how organic we've been pushing this. And with that being said, share this podcast with 5 people that you know could use it. Especially today's episode about planting the seeds. Maybe sharing this podcast could be you planting the seed. Follow me on social media at Bryce the Third and at You Feel That Podcast. And sow into something or someone this week. Take the opportunity. That's my last call to action. Sow into something or someone this week that aligns with what it is that you could imagine this world could be. Feed into somebody. Plant some seeds. And then don't watch the seed. Don't watch the seed because it might grow or might not. That ain't on you. What's on you is to plant the seed. And I'll leave you with this quote by Michael Portillo. You never quite know what you do in life that leaves a seed behind that grows into an oak tree. And with that, I will catch you next time. You feel that? With Bryce the Third.